Hello my friends, I hope you are fine. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can build queries using the set operators in ATLAS.ti. Alright, this is my project, and in this project I have 3 documents, 12 codes. These are the codes, code A to code L. I have one network, I have one document group, and I have 4 code groups. Alright. To run the query tool, I click on Analyze and then on Query Tool. This is the main window of the query tool, and in this window there are 4 panels. This is a panel for the code groups. This is a panel for the codes in the project. This is a panel where I can build the query, and in this panel the result of the query, or in fact the quotations that satisfy the query, are displayed. Now let me show you one example. I'm interested in all the quotations coded with code A and code B. And to build this, I can simply double click on code A. Now it is displayed in this panel. Also note that all the quotations coded with code A are also displayed in this panel. Alright, then I click on AND operator. Then I click on this term placeholder, and this time I double click on code B. So here in this panel, the result is displayed. So basically, let me just maximize this. Alright. Now, basically, I have 3 quotations in the entire project that satisfy this query. I can also export these quotations to an Excel file by clicking on this button and then selecting Excel export. Here I just select quotation content, ID, and the codes assigned to these quotations, and then I click on export. So these are the 3 quotations listed here. These are the IDs, and also these are the codes assigned to this quotation. For example, this quotation has been coded with code A, code B, code C, and code F. Alright, let me close this. Okay, so these 3 quotations are the quotations that satisfy this query, and basically I have quotations from different documents, from document D1, D2, and D3, basically from the entire project. Now, if I need the quotations within document D1 that satisfy this query, I can simply change the scope of the query by clicking on Edit Scope. And here, again, there are 4 panels, and what you need to do is just to define the scope for this query. For right now, I am just interested in the quotations within document 1 that satisfy this query. So I just double click on document D1 so that it is displayed in this panel. And now by changing the scope of the query, there is only one quotation that satisfies this query. Alright, let me change the scope. This time we are interested in quotations within document D1 or document D2. And again, you could see that the result of the query has changed. This time we have 2 quotations that satisfy the query. Alright, so let me just change the scope again. If you would like to delete any of these documents, you can simply click on them and then press delete, or click on this delete button. Also, you can delete the operator by selecting that and then clicking on delete. Now again, the scope of the query is document D1. Again, if I delete this, the scope of the query will be the entire project. Okay, so let me close this window. Alright, note that we have a few options here as well. For example, you can simply delete any of these operands by selecting them and then clicking on delete. You can also change the operator by selecting the operator and then clicking on change operator and then selecting any of these options. For example, right now the query is A and B. I can simply change it to A or B. And now here is the query and the result has also changed. We can also swap the operands by clicking on this option. Now we have B and A, basically the result, sorry, B or A, basically the result is the same. So it is interchangeable. A and B is equal to B and A. All right, now let me just change the operator again, B and A, and you can see that the result of A and B and A are exactly the same. All right, now let's make this query a bit more complicated. For example, B and A or C. So what I need to do is to click on the operator and then click on this operator, or then I click on this term placeholder and I add code C by double clicking on this code, and now this code has been added to this query. So my query is B and A or C, and this is the result of this query. Therefore, you can modify a query by adding terms or deleting the terms from the query. In order to add, you can simply double click on any of these codes or just drag and drop them on any term placeholder. In order to delete them, you can simply select them and then click on delete button here. You can also rotate the layout of this query by clicking on this option. And another possibility is that you can create a report for this query by clicking on this and then selecting any of these options. For example, I just select the content because I'm interested in the content of the quotations that are the result of this query, plus the codes that have been assigned to these quotations listed here. So I just deselect these two only codes and the content of the quotations. And if I click on create report, the report will be generated. Basically, it's a report for the query B and A or C. There are 27 quotations that satisfy this query in my project. And now the quotation number, the preview of the quotation, and the content of the quotation, as well as the codes that have been assigned to any of these quotations are displayed in this report. You can also consider saving this as a Microsoft Word document or a PDF file. Okay. The other possibility is that you can create a document group for the documents that contain these quotations. Now I have documents, I have quotations from document D1. Let me just scroll down, documents D2 and document D3. So if I click on a new document group based on query, I will have a new document group here that contains 3 members. Okay, now let me show you one more time how we can change the scope of the query. Again, I click on edit scope. For example, we are interested in quotations. Let me just drag it to the left. Okay, for example, we are interested in the quotations within document D1 or D3 that satisfy this query. Again, I double click on this, I click on OR, and then I click on D3. And now I have all the quotations that satisfy this query within document D1 or D3. Alright, the last point here is that you can simply save your query as a smart code. And basically a smart code is a code that is assigned to the resulting quotations. So all of these quotations listed here will be coded with the smart code. And in order to save the query as a smart code, I just click on Query Tool and then Save a Smart Code. And this is the suggested name by the software for the new smart code. So all the quotations coded with B and A or C will be coded with this smart code. So let me just click on Create. And now here in my code list, I have this new code. Please note that the information related to the scope of the query is not saved in this smart code. So as you can see, the scope is D1 or D3. So basically here we don't have any quotations from D2, but if I click on this smart code, you could see that I have quotations from D2 in this quotation list. So basically, you should not forget this. The information related to the scope of the query is not saved in smart codes. Okay, that's it. I hope you liked this video and thanks for watching.